Hey guys, Arcade Adam, back with another video, and in this one I'm going to show you how to upgrade your firmware on your IPAC 2, your IPAC 4, your IPAC Mini, your IPAC Ultimate, whatever you got, whatever Ultimarc sells, almost. That's an interface board. I'm going to show you how to upgrade the firmware. It's pretty simple. We're just going to go to the IPAC Ultimarc website, and I'm going to leave links to all the stuff in the description so you don't really have to follow along with me here, but just wanted to show you. His website's a little, well, we'll say it could be laid out better, in my opinion, for finding the downloads, because I always struggle. Every time I go in there and I Google, I'm like, where's the IPAC? So first thing you need is the WinIPAC software. Make sure you get version 2. Click here to download. As soon as it's done, we'll click Run. Now, a lot of you will get this on Windows 10, so hit More Info and hit Run anyway. It's not dangerous or anything. It's just that Andy from Ultimarc didn't buy a Microsoft cert to bypass that stuff. Whatever. Next. Put it in the default location. That's just fine. We'll fire it up. And this is what you should see. So up here we've got our board firmware version. So the multi-mode version is 1.53. So I've already got it installed, but I'm going to reflash to show you how to do it. And it also says multi-mode firmware to tell you that you're running that specific special firmware. So let's go back into control panel. Just want to show you right now it's in keyboard mode, even shows up as a little keyboard. If I open my gamepad control panel menu, nothing shows up. I don't have my wireless Xbox controller plugged in. I've got nothing right now. So with the IPAC software open, I will hold down player 1 start and player 1 button 3, that is X input mode. Also in the description are the modes and the instructions on a PDF. Check that out before you do this, but there you go. 10 seconds later, I've got my 2 gamepads. And you note that the IPAC software actually went away. So in this mode, it can't configure anything. So it actually closes, which is, I don't know if that's a bug or a feature, but that's what I'm experiencing. Now if I do player 1 start, player 1 button 1, that goes back to keyboard mode, and we should be able to open up the IPAC software. So it's good to note that if you'll open it and for whatever reason you're wanting to flash back to the regular firmware, make sure it's in keyboard emulation mode. And you see that in the red down at the bottom, says it's in keyboard mode. There's my shift key. I don't know if you guys, like I was talking about in the other video, I have volume keys mapped to my tab and pause, I believe, or start, tab and start. So I can do volume up and down on my shift key. So now the next thing we need to do to get this firmware upgraded is grab the actual firmware file itself. So Google Ultimarc Firmware Enhanced Modes. This is that instruction PDF I have linked below that I was talking about. It looks like if you Google it, it's the second link, and you've got to follow the link to the IPAC downloads, and then there's a multi-mode tab. And then down here at the bottom, if I remember correctly, he's got the firmware listed. Where did that go? See, this is what I'm talking about. It'll be listed in the description. Maybe it's under IPAC downloads. There we go. Firmware, multi-mode. And then there's that beta firmware for mixed mode, which is also available. It actually sends the keyboard press and the gamepad press at the same time. I haven't played with that much yet, but we're going to do this one for now because I think it makes more sense to switch back and forth. So that one file, that one zip file, has all the firmwares for all the IPACs. IPAC 2, IPAC 4, Ultimate, Mini IPAC. I have a Mini IPAC. If you have an IPAC 4, use the IPAC 4 file. But basically, we're going to go hit firmware upgrade and browse to that file, and then we're going to hit upgrade firmware. So basically when you hit upgrade firmware, the IPAC software shuts down, it resets the board. So you see it says it's giving 20 seconds for a board reset, and then it'll launch as a little separate application. As soon as this is done here, there it is, and it says select firmware. So this is where you select your IPAC firmware. So I have a Mini, but if you have a 4 or an Ultimate, select that. So I'm going to select IPAC Mini. And now we're uploading. and this takes a while. On my machine, it took like 3-4 minutes. So I'm going to fast forward it for you guys. We don't need to stare at a progress bar together. Now that that's done, device is reset. We're going to hit File and Exit. If we load up our IPAC software, we're back up and running. We're in keyboard mode. We're in version 1.53. And doing this process can reset your configuration. So if you've got certain keys set to these outputs, it can change them. As you can see, my volume keys still work, so I don't think it actually changed anything. But while I'm here, I'm going to double check my keys settings versus a standard X-Arcade or IPAC Hyperspin layout setup. So I'm going to open up my key map file here and just double check everything. So here, this is what a typical Hyperspin setup is expecting for the player 1 and player 2. You know, your standard left control, alt space, ZX, left shift. Where I'm going to really focus on is my button 7 and 8 keys. I don't think I have those set correctly. So I've got my tab. Shifted is volume up, like I was telling you guys. I've got that on my shift key. So if my shift key is the start button. So if I hold down start in tab, or it's labeled menu on my admin buttons, I get volume up. And just look at all the different things that you can select. Like, you can do lots of stuff. There's even macros where you can record functions, and that's how you would do things like open up Task Manager. So you're really getting a groove where you don't even have to leave your front end of Hyperspin or Launchbox if you don't want to. But I just need to double check. So this is player 2, button 7 is currently set to, no, it's switch 6. That's not right. Player 2, button 8 should be 6. Where's that? Yeah, right now it's L. That's wrong. We need to change that. It's as simple as dropping it down from the list and picking that. Nope, that's C. Oh, I was thinking it was player 1 for a second there. Pardon this. Yeah, so player 2, button 6 should be left bracket. That's correct. Button 7 should be right bracket. And then button 8 should be 6. There we go, for player 2. That's where I think I had these messed up. Don't use those button 7 and 8 very often, especially in MAME. It's like, I don't even think there's any MAME game that needs all 8 buttons, but just want to get them set up so now that I'm switching back and forth, I got everything right and I don't need to track this stuff down. So the rest of this looks good. Q, yep, to Q, S, second button, player 2, A, player button 1, player 2, button 1, F is down, R is up, G is right, D is left. That looks good. Coin 2 is 4, coin 1 is 3, and then there's my start one and my shift button. You can actually change what your shift button is if you want to. Alright, and now player 1 button 8 is 5, player 1 button 7 is C. Okay, so that was correct. It was just my player 2 buttons 7 and 8 weren't correctly set. Alright. So that's how you can set your buttons. You can set your own, instead of playing around in the game or the front end or your auto hotkey script or joy to key or whatever, you can change your keys on the actual controller itself if you so choose, if it makes more sense. And now that I got that right, I'm going to save this profile. So if I ever flash my firmware again, I can bring back over my key profile. So I'm going to throw this in my documents folder and give it a name. So this is default mini IPAC keyboard mode Hyperspin. It's a heck of a file name, but that's you got to be descriptive in your file name so when you go back you can understand what in the heck you were talking about before. At least that's how I am. I'm very forgetful. Anyway, close this down, close this up. Notice we're in keyboard mode, so I'm going to do player 1 start and button 3. Get it over in gamepad mode, and let's go test this thing. head on over to Launchbox, and I think by request we're going to try, what was it? Oh yeah, Pac-Man Battle Royale first. I believe, which is in Pac-Man Museum. Oh, that's right, I made a separate quick shortcut to it. So let's fire this up. That's not looking good. Nothing on player 1, nothing on player 2 will get past the start menu. Okay, so enter still worked. Does the controller work in the menu? Yep, okay, so player 1 in X input mode works in the menu after you hit enter. I'll have to play with that. Maybe we can get that figured out. Let's get in game. Let's see if we can get 2 players going on the same control panel. Because I remember this game was a struggle. It was, you know, kind of an older game. Push to start. So, okay, player 1 started. Hey, we got player 2. Nice. So hopefully, once we get in the game here, we should have 2 independent controls in Pac-Man Battle Royale. And excuse the not taking up full screen. It's actually full screen on my arcade, but just for the way my screen recording software is recording it, it's not showing up full screen, but we'll get past that anyway. All right, please wait. Let's go. Which one is which? Okay. Looks like blue is player 1, which is kind of confusing because it's visually coming from the opposite side of the screen. I wonder if we can switch that. And then red is player 2. Sweet! We've got independent controls in Pac-Man Battle Royale. That's awesome. Wow. Okay, let's see if my 4-way works. Oh, sweet! It does! Well, it should, but still, it's always nice to see when a plan comes together and it actually works. Alright, cool. This is awesome. I'll admit, I have not played a ton of this game because, honestly, the control set was so screwed up and usually you could only play single player, so it wasn't that appealing to me. But that's pretty sweet. Alright, let's play one more round. Just get a feel for this thing. Those of you with a 4-player control panel, this would be pretty awesome if we could get this firmware to work on an IPAC 4 and it gives you 4 gamepads. You should be able to have 4 players, no problem. Which would be pretty cool. And I think I have an idea about setting up, you know, which player 1 and player 2, maybe to try to tie that together visually, but maybe that's another video. We'll see. Yeah, because player 2 coming from the left is a little disorienting when player 1's coming from the right. It's kind of vice versa. But I think you can set preferential controls, like which one's player 1 and player 2. That might help in here. Actually, I should try and see if player 2... No, I did try that. I wanted to see if maybe player 2 can get by that menu. So you don't have to press enter on the keyboard to start it up. That's weird how this controls were working in the game, but they didn't start up the game. But anyway, let's try some Pac-Man DX Championship
Button
Edition.
1, Button 2, Button 3, Button 4, Button 5, Button 6, Trackball, 4-way joystick, 8-way joystick.
I really need to work on my LED blinky profiles. Alright, let's jump into a game. Looks like I haven't hardly unlocked anything in here either. Shout out to the Pac-Man Championship DX players. I kind of prefer the look of this one over Royale. I think this one's slightly newer, if I remember correctly, and the gameplay is definitely faster. Player 1 definitely works no problem. That's right, I forgot it slows down once you start getting into trouble. Alright, I'm gonna get you. Yeah! Yep, 4-player works on this one too, no problem. Actually, I kind of find it easier. Man, this is responsive. Uh-oh. Alright, get back here, boys. Ooh, barely squeaked that one out. Oh, you gonna give me that one too? Oh. That was a good run. Uh-oh. All right. Dang. Oh, come on. The last one. Figures. Alright, this is addicting. I promise I'll stop soon. Figured I'd run out of lives by now. Looks like I got one left. Oh, come on! Well, start to get in the exit menu. That all works. Yeah, man, this is nice. This mode switching thing is going to be fantastic. Alright, let's play something a little more complicated. How about some Soul Calibur?
Button 2. Button 3.
LED blinky.
Button 4.
You're killing me.
Button 5.
Gonna have to start
Button
making a
6.
list.
Trackball. 4-way joystick.
No trackball in Soul Calibur.
8-way joystick.
No 4-way either, I would think, unless you're that talented. Speaking of talent, no making fun of my Soul Calibur skills. It's probably the 4th time I've played it.
Soul Calibur 6.
So far, so good on player 1. Holy cow, the updates. Yeah, you did some things. Really? A lot of updates. Okay. Battle? Arcade. Fire it up.
A merchant ship replete with riches attracts more chaos than customers.
Medallion's humming. Who the hell are you? Are you sure? You asked for it.
Battle 1.
All right, here we go. Button smash. Oh no, that's definitely CPU. That's not me. So just player one. We gotta figure out how to do two-player. We'll take care of this guy, then we'll do two-player. Alright, Geralt.
Victory will not come easily. It must be seized.
Knocked me on my ass 3 times and that's taking him out. I love it. Ooh, there you go. Buddy, turn around. Alright. Let's see if we can get two-player going.
It must be seized.
No, we don't need to do this again. There we go. Versus, there we go. Player, CPU, CPU, player versus player. That's what we want.
Welcome to the stage of history retold.
Alright, press start over here. Got player one. Sure, that guy looks crazy. Hey, independent controls. God, I love this. This is just so satisfying. You know how much I've struggled against auto hotkey and Joy to Key and Xbox 360 CD, trying to get all these controls to work on one control panel, and then without lag, because it's sure you can get it to work, but then sometimes it's so laggy you can't even play. This is just direct. It's awesome.
When souls collide, chaos erupts.
That's a sweet looking level.
Let's do it.
I'll fight you.
Battle 1. Fight!
Nice. Now if I do player one, start in player one and go to keyboard, what happens? Does the game freak out? I don't think I got it there. It's still working. Let's try that one more time. Player one, and start in player one, button one. There we go. There, we even got the device. Okay, so it even kicks you out of the game. Wow. It says your controller is missing, so you want to... Alright. Let's go back to gamepad mode, see if we can get it working without it crashing. I heard the device manager. Hey, there we go. Press start, press start. Get back in the game. Hey, look at that. Awesome. Yes.
This is it. Try this. Ready? Damn.
That was that's an interesting move.
Victory will not come easily. It must be seized. Battle 2. Fight.
All right, that's enough of that one. Let's try one more game. All right, what do we do? Yeah, we just got to go for it. Streets of Rage 4. Can't do better than this when it comes to game music.
Button 1. Button 2. Button 3. Button 4. Button 5. Button 6. Trackball. 4-way joystick. 8-way joystick.
Hey, no problem. All right, let's see if we can get 2 players. That's right, I gotta finish the story in this game. All right, player 1. Player 2, no problem. This is sweet.
Oh, you.
It looks like my ABXY on my LED blinky might be off now. It looks like the top and the bottom row are flipped. I gotta check that out, double check, because it'd be nice to have the color key maps on the screen match with the colors of the keys on the arcade control panel. Yeah, it looks like it's upside down, so I'll change that. That's easy. Just flop colors. Yep. 2 players, no problem. Alright guys, I hope this was a pretty easy video to follow. Upgrading the firmware, like I said, my last video was not that difficult. Just takes a little bit. Gotta find those files. Look for all that stuff linked in the description. I know it's kind of, at least for me, Andy's website isn't laid out very logically, so finding it can be a little difficult, but look in the description, I'll have all that stuff for you. And if you've already got an IPAC and it's already wired up and going, I mean, I think the only other thing I can recommend you guys doing is maybe save your key map file first, just in case you lose it, but it shouldn't. You know, upgrade your firmware. It didn't lose my key map file, but, you know, it's a computer, you never know. But thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe. Share this video as much as possible. It really helps me out. I'm trying to grow this channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one.